No intro today, Rider fans. Telling anything else before the review would be a big fat spoiler. Let's dive right in. Kota is fighting Mitsuzane in what may be their last confrontation. The fratricida rider is using the Hell Arms, a lockseed that siphons away his life in exchange for power so great that Kota is forced to use the Zenith Arms. And even like so, the match seems about even, but that may be because Kota is still trying to make Mitsuzane stop using the Hell Arms. Anyway, we take a side trip to Mai's mind, where Sagara is being an ass. He's showing her everything that's happening outside. Kota becoming an overlord, Kaito becoming infected, Mitsuzane killing himself slowly, all for the golden fruit. And for her, of course. Mai laments all of this, but Sagara reminds her that it's all just been a case, like it's been a case for her to be blessed with the golden fruit's power, the power to do anything she wants. And Mai seems to have an idea. On the outside, Ryoma is being creepy with her unconscious body, Kato, Mitsuzane and Kota, where we further see how deep Ryugen's psychosis runs. He doesn't care about dying or having Mai, as long as Kota, the target of his hate, dies with him. And just as we think there is no more hope, the unthinkable happens. Kota throws away his sword and willingly takes an attack from Mitsuzane to take the Hell Fruit away from him. If your jaw just dropped, you're not the only one. I had the same reaction and Mitsuzane did too. He can't believe that Kota did this, not after he tried to kill him so many times. But Gaim reminds him that it hasn't been that long since they were friends. He can't possibly have already forgotten what it would feel like. Mitsuzane still isn't convinced. How can Kota forgive him for what he has done? Point is, Kota does, and urges Mitsuzane to forgive himself, before falling to the ground in a bed of white plumes. Dead. I'm keeping my silence on purpose. I'm letting it all sink in for you. Kota is dead! Anyway, Kota's sacrifice and words just made Mitsuzane feel even worse. He decides to focus on saving Mai. Maybe then he will be worthy of forgiveness. Back at Gaim HQ, Chucky and Peko come back to find Kaito and Minato. They tell Baron about Mai's situation, and just like Mitsuzane, I guess they're now heading to the hospital. Ryoma is surprised to see Ryugen return alive, and even more surprised that Kota is actually dead. But alas, he's not the only one who died recently. Ryoma successfully extracted the golden fruit, and he quite honestly tells Mitsuzane, "Why the hell did you believe me when I said I'd save her?" And Mitsuzane isn't even allowed to attack him, since Ryoma obviously installed a kill switch into Takatora's belt. Wait a minute. Why didn't he use it when they tried to kill Takatora? Oh right, he wasn't alone and he's a data collecting otaku. Still, he's not too scrawny, and he proceeds to keep on mocking and hitting Mitsuzane, and he's about to kill him by strangling when the golden fruit starts shining and transforms into the princess. It was Mai sealed into the golden fruit all along. And what's more, she chose to let Ryoma kill her because her body was a hindrance to her plan. After she bids goodbye to Mitsuzane, her too telling him to forgive himself, she disappears in golden dust. Right after, we get the confirmation. The princess was Mai from the future all along, trying to go back to certain points of the story to change what transpired. But apparently, time is quite opposed to any last-minute rethinkings. All those times, the princess spoke in riddles not because Mai suddenly became an ass, but because she actually couldn't speak using the words she wanted to. Even with the power of the golden fruit, she can't speak of the future. And even worse, Mai only speaking to those three particular people made the Sagara of the past realize early on whose candidates for the fruit to focus on. It took such an interest in Kota because Mai did! Talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy, and as Mai drifts in time, Kaito and Minato arrive at the hospital. What they find is a sobbing Mitsuzane, a dead Mai, and Ryoma desperately trying to understand where his prize disappeared to. Kaito and Minato are about to attack the professor, but he destroys their Genesis drivers as well. Kaito isn't about to just give up though, and he dons the banana arms with his prototype Sengoku driver. 3 guesses as to how that fares against Ryoma's energy driver. After a brief skirmish in the lab, the fighting moves outside. Even with the change of scenario though, Kaito's luck doesn't. As Ryoma keeps on overwhelming Kaito, he informs the rider that he never considered him a threat. His only worry was Kota, who is now dead, and after that revelation he lays the finishing blow to Byron, breaking his transformation. And while Kaito may be willing to continue fighting, his infection chooses that time to act up. Ryoma realizes what is going on and, in the foolish villain trope of the day, decides to not deal the finishing blow to Kaito. Even more foolish, he turns his back to him. By now he should have learned that Kaito is stubborn. Stubborn enough to brave excruciating pain to fight. Stubborn enough to always get up when he's down. And stubborn enough to not know limits, especially with nothing left to lose. And Kaito reasons, unlike other humans who did this, I've already gotten slowly used to Helheim's poison. Who's to say I'm going to end up like them? I'm not usually one for reading direct quotes, but this one needs reading. Ryoma says, "Are you insane?" Kaito laughs darkly and answers, "As insane as Ase was." Then he devours the Helheim fruit. The transformation is instantaneous, and we find that Kaito's game ball paid off. He's humanoid looking, he retained his speech, he's much more powerful than before, he's not an invest. He's now an overlord. And this causes Ryoma to flip his shit, not because it was proven wrong, but because someone surpassed humanity without the professor having a hand in it. He charges Kaito, only to find the situations from before inverted. And if Mitsuzane's Hell Arms had a weapon that was similar to Radius, Kaito's Thundercloud form is reminiscent of the Mushu's own Smoke form. Then he strips Ryoma with his Genesis driver, rendering him even more powerless. But even like this, Ryoma still thinks of nothing but the results of his research, of his genius. They matter to him more than his own life. But to Kaito they're nothing more than empty air in the face of real strength. He then literally embeds Ryoma into a wall with a single punch, which is probably enough internal damage to kill him. But before stumbling off the building and fall to his Disney death, Ryoma leaves him with a sentence: Kaito's body won't last for long. Not under an energy he was never supposed to carry. Soon he will still die. But Kaito is defiant, powerful in the fact that he can still turn back to a human. He's cheated that once, after all. Why shouldn't he try and cheat it again? Well, as of right now, the world is completely fucked. With Kota dead, there is no one left to oppose Kaito, who wasn't exactly in the best state of mind before his transformation, remember? He had reverted to his "I'll destroy the world and only strength matters" mentality, and now that he has gotten enough strength of his own to enforce that, being the only viable candidate left for the golden fruit? Yeah. Which leads me to believe that we haven't seen the last of Kota. His death has been too quick, too anticlimactic to really be definitive. It's not like, again, another Kamen Rider series where it was built up to, although for just a little. And since Mai is now running around as a ghost with the power of the golden fruit in her ghost body, we have a possible get out of Afterlife free card that won't make me scream bullshit at the screen. Still, what a waste of good build-up episodes. Had Mitsuzane died, it would have probably been the best end this character could have had. What is now a sobbing, desperate mess who people sacrifice themselves for without him deserving it. Well, this is actually more evil because he's suffering. Never mind, I like it! And I also like that, thank God, it seems that we're not going to have a time reset after all. If time is so difficult to alter in this setting, even with the power of the golden fruit, it would be ridiculous for that rule to suddenly get thrown out of the window for a happy first finale, right? Also, I was hoping the princess was someone else entirely, but still, again, good job with the reveal. Like with Sagara, the hints were all there, but you never want to go for the most obvious solution, especially when you don't have an explanation for that solution to be possible in the first place. Well, at least I guess the second death of this episode right. If Kaito faced Ryoma, going by the logic of plot exclusion, Kota and Kaito have been fated to face each other in the end from the beginning, remember? There was no way Kaito was going to bite it! And he went like he lived, completely obsessed with his research with an entertaining over-the-top personality. Too bad most of the series had him toned down because he had to keep up appearances for Takatora. Well, nothing left to do but to wait for Kota to be back to deliver us from Kaito. In the meanwhile, let me know what you thought of this episode, Rider fans. Did you find Kota's death as lukewarm as I did? What about Ryoma's? Leave a comment or a message on one of my social media accounts, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you still haven't, and share this video with who you think may enjoy it, will you? You can never have too many Rider fans. Giale!